They like to compare it to the Vernonia Trail. There's only one farm on the Vernonia Trail. The rest is timber. The parking area, it has 0 houses around it. It's big. It's capable to handle horse trailers and such. As far as the parking area and our big concern, it should be the old fertilizer plant was. It's contaminated ground, make a perfect place for a parking area. Right next to the trail. Makes way more sense than trying to stick it amongst a bunch of people in a rural area. And anyway, other than that, sorry, I'm hearing.
Well, Mr. Weiser, we are out of time, but
sorry.
I want to say thank you for coming. Those are some, I think, considerable concerns, and I think the serious nature of people being, as you alleged, told one thing when in fact something else is really happening is worthy of looking into.
I think it's very important to point out there have been several public meetings, Mr. Weiser, and we've had a large turnout of public adjacent landowners at those meetings. So we have heard concerns. We've addressed most of those concerns. As I told you last week, and I can show you the messages I received, the phone number I was given to call you back, which I tried 3 times, was incorrect. So, but there's been a great deal of conversation about your concerns with the people from Rails to Trails, myself included, with the people who are working on this. There has been no decision whatsoever on a trailhead on your or near your property or any other property for that matter. There's been conceptual drawings done, but nothing is set in concrete. We, at this point in time, are in the process of purchasing the right-of-way. The right-of-way is not purchased yet. Once that is completed, most of the construction on the trail will take place between Carlton and Yamhill as we begin that process, just as a safety measure. But any concerns that you have will be addressed, and will be addressed completely before any activity has taken place to develop that trail. So we are going to mitigate all the concerns of the property owners from the entire length of that trail. The Vernonia Banks Trail that you mentioned, that was a 25-year project, getting everybody on board with it. So even though there's only one farm, there are adjacent landowners up and down that trail, and those concerns were mitigated, as will yours. So just so you know, this isn't going to happen tomorrow in your backyard. So
unfortunately, sometimes us in the country, we moved there for the peace and quiet. We're not big in getting involved in other people's business. Unfortunately, sometimes when we finally figure out it is our business, it's too late. And we don't want anything to be too late. We're not trying to be mean. We're not necessarily against the trail. But there are things that make sense and some that don't. The parking lot makes no sense for 14 cars to spend that kind of money, take up 450 feet of track with 14 spaces, 4 of which are handicapped. It makes 0 sense to me. Why it's put out there, I don't know, but I have to be protective of what I have there, and like I say, I'm not
your concerns.
Not against any of this, but I have concerns. Other people have concerns. Unfortunately, I guess I'm the one that's going to speak out and try and organize.
There will be nothing happening without all the adjacent landowners being fully involved in those decisions, Mr. Weiser. You can rest assured of that.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you coming, and I appreciate your informing your neighbors, many who say that this is the first they've heard of it, and I want you to know, at least from my perspective, that farmers' lives matter. Thank you for coming.
I thank everybody for your time.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Weiser. All right. Next, we have item B, which is the consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve item B, the consent agenda?
Madam Chair, I would so move.
Okay, motion to approve item B. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Passes unanimously. Item C, old business, we have none. Item D, other business, we have none. In public hearing, this is docket L47-15, an appeal by DLCD of a lot line adjustment involving a lot approved under Measure 49 applicant Michael Hindermeyer, continued from March 10th, 2016 at the point of staff recommendation. So we'll open that public hearing. Mr. Sadlow, did you want to comment, or Mr. Friday?
I would like
Mr.
to comment.
Brandt?
We have reviewed the arguments submitted by the applicant's representative, Dave Honeycutt, and also by the Department of Justice, and we agree with the applicant's representative, Dave Honeycutt. We believe the express language of ORS 92.192 allowed this lot line adjustment at the time that the application was made. Therefore, we recommend that you uphold the planning director's approval with the conditions of the original approval.
Mr. Sadlow?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I was just going to point out that the record had remained open for written testimony, and we received additional testimony, and unless you object to any of that coming in, it was placed before you and is part of the record. And that is it three
letters? Yes.
Three letters.
A March 18th letter from Dave Honeycutt, a March 30th letter from Diane Lloyd, and then a final letter from Dave Honeycutt dated April 8th.
Okay. So at this point, I would entertain a motion to uphold the planning director's decision with conditions.
Madam Chair, I would so move. I've read all the documents that were related to this matter, and believe that our planning department, as usual, did a very fine job in reviewing this, and that I would move that we uphold their decision with the conditions that were part of the approval.
Wholeheartedly. Mr. Sadlow, did you want 2 weeks for findings?
Yes, 2 weeks to submit a board order with written findings for approval.
So then we'll just come back here and adopt the
April 28th.
April 28th. Okay. All right.
So you would vote today, and then we would prepare the board order, and you would
All right. So we
issue
have
that on that day.
a motion to approve staff uphold the planning director's decision with any conditions?
With the 6 conditions of approval of the original approval.
That was part of the motion, so.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the uphold the planning director's decision with conditions. At this time, we'll close the public hearing. Any further discussion? All right. All those in favor of
Aye.
the motion, say aye. Aye. Okay, passes unanimously. So then we will adopt this on the 28th, correct?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right. To item F, any announcements? No announcements, all right. And also for questions regarding county advisory committee vacancies, please refer to our website. And for questions regarding accessibility or to request accommodation, please contact the Board of Commissioners office. All right, well, at this time, we'll close the Yamhill County formal session on April 14th. It's 10:16. Thank you all.